Hello to the viewers of The Pioneer. We are here once again to bring you the latest developments in the shadow of the war. The conflict between Russia and Ukraine is becoming increasingly complex, and the effects of the war are being felt not only on the front lines, but in every aspect of daily life. The nearly three-year war has profoundly affected the economic and military balances, as well as the strategic moves between the two countries. The relentless struggle between the two sides has necessitated new measures to ensure the safety of civilians living in border areas. Not only the military dimensions of the war, but also the economic dimensions have a long-term impact, with consequences ranging from domestic politics to international relations. Russia's large-scale invasion of Ukraine did not end as quickly as initially planned. Ukraine's resolute defense strategies significantly disrupted Russia's invasion plans. As the war dragged on, Russia's difficulties, both militarily and economically, became more pronounced. The harsh economic sanctions imposed by the West undermine Russia's economic stability, while military failures has had a profound impact on Russia's domestic politics and public morale. These effects led to a major crisis, especially in Russia's automobile industry and military vehicle production. It's time to take a closer look at Russia's struggles on both the battlefield and the economic front. Today, we'll tell you about a new development just announced by the Russian Defense Ministry on the 909th day of the failed Kyiv in 3 days operation. Russia announced the creation of the Belgorod, Bryansk, and Kursk military groups. These military groups will be tasked with protecting civilians and strategic points in border areas from drone strikes and other means of attack. This measure, taken since the beginning of the war, highlights Russia's concerns over border security and domestic political pressures. It was announced at a meeting of the Coordination Council for Military Security of Border Regions, chaired by Belousov, and marks a new phase of the war. Let us examine this new military organization and why it was established. Before moving on to our report, here is a small reminder. As the Pioneer team, we strive to bring you the latest developments in the Russia-Ukraine war. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss our daily reports and explanations. We also read all the comments you leave on our videos. Please continue to share your ideas about our content in the comments section. Tell us in the comments what content you would like to see on the Pioneer channel. And now let's begin if you are ready. The Pioneer reports. As the Russian army's occupation of Ukrainian territory continues, the course of the war is gaining a new dimension every day. Russia's large-scale invasion operation has not yielded the quick results it initially expected and has met with fierce Ukrainian resistance. This resistance significantly prevented Russia from realizing its military objectives. However, recent developments show that the war has turned into a strategic chess game rather than a mere struggle for occupation. Ukraine is putting the Russian army in a difficult situation by making unexpected moves in this war, in which Russia mobilizes all its military power. Ukraine's recent Kursk operation is one of the most remarkable of these strategic moves. The Kursk operation is considered to be one of the biggest and most effective counterattacks against the Russian occupation that has been going on since the beginning of the war. With this operation, Ukraine not only aims to regain its occupied territories, but to also deal a major blow to Russia's war plans. At the beginning of the war, Russia planned to capture Kyiv in as little as 3 days. This plan was based on an assumption of Russia's military superiority and Ukraine's weak defense capabilities. However, Ukraine's determined resistance and strategic moves completely upset these Russian goals. The Kursk operation was a development that cemented the failure of the operation that Russia had called Kyiv in 3 days and had pinned great hopes on. The failure of this operation severely damaged Russia's self-confidence at the beginning of the war and the image of a strong army that it wanted to convey to the world public opinion. Ukraine's surprise launch of the operation frustrated Russia's efforts to change the course of the war in its favor and gave Ukraine a strategic advantage. There are several important factors behind the effectiveness of the Kursk operation. First, the Ukrainian military's high motivation and determination to resist played a key role in the success of this operation. In addition, the intelligence support and advanced weapon systems that Ukraine received from the West contributed significantly to the success of the Kursk operation. With this operation, Ukraine not only regained its occupied territories, but also seriously shocked Russia's war strategy. The failure of Russia's Kyiv in 3 days operation was a turning point that shattered all Moscow's dreams about the war. Ukraine's strategic move showed that Russia's aggressive politics since the beginning of the war could be futile. This further increased Russia's international criticism and deepened questions about the legitimacy of the war. Ukraine's successful move has the potential to affect not only the course of the war, but also the post-war balance. In the face of recent military losses and Ukraine's unexpected moves, Russia has started to reconsider its defense strategies. Accordingly, it announced the establishment of the Belgorod, Bryansk, and Kursk military groups. These new military units are tasked with protecting civilians living in the border regions and strategic points from drone attacks and other potential threats. This announcement, made at a meeting of the Coordination Council of Military Security of Border Regions, chaired by Belousov, makes it clear that Russia's current defense forces are insignificant to ensure security in the border regions and that new units must be built. Despite its aggressive politics since the beginning of the war, Russia's move demonstrates the impact on Moscow of Ukraine's success in the border regions. The creation of these new military groups can be seen as a reflection of Russia's efforts to ensure its internal security, but it also shows that its current defense capacity is insufficient. At this stage of the war, Russia is forced to adopt a more defensive posture against both internal and external threats. Ukraine's determined resistance and strategic moves continue to upset Russia's war plans. The Russian invasion, which began with the dream of quickly seizing Kyiv, has been shaken by Ukraine's bold counterattacks. The Kursk operation exposed Russia's defensive inadequacies in its border regions and showed that Moscow is trying to strengthen its defense capacity by establishing new military units. However, these steps cannot hide Russia's weakening position as Ukraine continues to strengthen with the support of the West. Russia's failure on the battlefield and growing domestic security concerns are further straining Putin's war policy. Ukraine's resolve and resilience are increasing the potential to turn the war in its favor. What do you think? What do you think will be the consequences of Russia's border problems? What developments will the Kursk operation lead to? Let us know in the comments. We read and care about your point of view.